Why was Thor crying?
Welcome to Tairimo Boys Podcast. I'm your host Cody. With me in second chair is the boy who's regularly doing superhero team ups. It's Jeremy.
It's part of it.
You go get him, Jeremy.
Maximum effort.
With me in third chair is the boy rocking a pair of skeletal metal claws. It's Ryan.
What's up, everybody? Always up for some more DP.
This your final
And
DP.
who isn't? Oh, it's so sad. Don't say that. I want more DP.
Tell Disney. So here we are. We're at the end of the road. We've got a Blockbuster, boys, and we just got done watching Deadpool 3, titled Deadpool Wolverine. I'm gonna have to start this review by saying this review is gonna contain major spoilers.
Yes, indeed.
If you don't want to be spoiled, I'd highly recommend going and watching the movie and coming back and listening and agreeing with our thoughts.
You will agree. There's no choice.
Jeremy, what was your theater experience like?
An amazing theater experience, actually. I have never heard through the entire movie so many people laughing damn near constantly. On top of that, the cheering, the clapping, the whoop whooping. This was a rip-roaring good time. Stole that from Ryan.
Put on the t-shirt. Did I tell the story in the last Deadpool review of my theater experience?
I don't think so.
It's tied to
I
this
can't
one.
recall.
So we got to go back to Deadpool 2. I saw Deadpool 2 twice. Once at a theater near me, and the acoustics were so bad I could hear nobody laughing, and it was just felt dead the entire movie. So the next week, I went to a different movie theater, 30 minutes away. It was in a college town, a whole bunch of college kids there and other people, and it was full, and you could hear everybody laughing, and it was a great time. So I said, for Deadpool and Wolverine, I'm going to go back to this theater so I can have that movie theater experience again with an entire full crowd and just laughs and good times for all. And about 8 people showed up.
How dare those people?
Are you
But
gonna
my friends went and we had a good time. So
Are you gonna go to the other theater then?
no, I will say this though. So right before we went, my bro was talking about going to a Mexican restaurant because there's this big burrito that they got. I've been chasing this big burrito ever since Virginia. This giant, I think it was called the Burrito Grande. This giant burrito that I wanted. He said they got it at this restaurant near this theater. So I was like, all right, I'll go there and get it. And so I go there in the restaurant, I sit down, intending on getting this burrito, and I open the menu, and the first thing I see is chimichangas.
Yes.
And I was like, ooh, I should really get chimichangas. But I went with the burrito instead. I really let Deadpool down on this one.
I did not let Deadpool down because
You got
DiGiorno was selling special pizzas, and one of them was a chimichanga themed pizza, and it was phenomenal.
damn.
See, people, we tied that back to Deadpool somehow. Well, let me just say this. I tried a chimichanga once and didn't like it. Too many veggies or whatever the hell that stuff was.
Fajita mix, Cody, and you know I love my chimichangas.
Well, I don't. So, there you go. But I'm going to be the boy that pisses on this parade. I went at my usual 10:40. They put me in the smallest theater, and there's only like 8 people there.
Oh, you too?
Yeah, well, I mean, every time we do our theaters, I've got the small crowd, except for the time we went and watched Barbie. I don't know what all those families were doing there at like midnight, but on a school night.
That's crazy. Mine was probably a little bit more than 3/4 full. Nobody was sitting on the very front seats, but it was still pretty full.
It's literally just the time probably that hit Ryan, and it's definitely the time that hit me. I mean, that's why I go
Yeah,
so late.
I went noon. I catch the matinee on the cheap ass. Now, the real question, boys, how many times did you see it?
Once.
One.
I haven't had
I saw it
time.
twice.
Yeah, I was thinking I might go see it a second time this weekend.
I will probably see it a third time. I'm not even shitting you.
All right, we're screwing around too much, talking about theaters and chimichangas and burritos. But Ryan,
All right, South Park.
Ryan, your solution
Okay,
was
South
to
Park
order
stop,
both
coach.
and take one of them home. So, Jeremy, give me your first thoughts.
Greatest movie of all time. I called it.
Ryan, first thoughts.
I wouldn't call it the greatest movie of all time. Sorry, Jeremy,
It's
but
okay, I have a
really,
bias.
really liked it.
How many reallys was that?
That was a lot of reallys.
I lost
That's up
count.
there.
Maybe three.
3 reallys.
It's a lot. Yeah, Ryan, I'm more on your wavelength with this. I cannot compare this movie to Deadpool 1 and 2 because this movie feels just completely different from the first two. It feels like more focused on fanfare rather than like a story that like 1 and 2 had. Needless to say, it was a really damn good movie if I'm talking about watching it a second time.
Sticking with my guns. Pun intended. Still my favorite.
We won't judge you, Jeremy.
Thank you guys. I like being in the judgment-free zone. I feel comfortable.
We'll judge you every other time, though.
Thank you.
Speaking
Means
of
a lot.
we need to do some judging right now. You know what I didn't see during this movie?
Boobs.
Yes.
What the? They could get away with everything else with Disney, but not boobs.
Nope.
They can't do cocaine.
Disney ain't ready to go there.
Yeah, I bet Disney's the one who pruned that. Can we at least put one
Fuck
boob
you,
in?
Disney.
No. I mean, we
I would take some side boob even.
yeah, we got like one boob in Deadpool 2, but other than that, like it felt like it wasn't even under the Disney umbrella. Well, I'm not gonna say that because the whole plot is Disney. Just a quick summary for anyone unfamiliar with the whole plot of Deadpool and Wolverine. Now we're in the MCU. Deadpool ends up getting snatched by TVA, told that his timeline is gonna be destroyed because Wolverine died at the end of Logan. So he's gotta go hunting for a brand new Wolverine and escape hellish dimension.
That about sums it up.
Sounds basic, but damn, is it good.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, so we gotta address the Tairimo boys' elephant in the room. We're now under Disney, which means that we're part of the official MCU, which means that we've got a crazy CEO guy.
You knew it was gonna happen.
So, regular viewers, you probably heard us use this term before, but we've never explained it. Tairimo boys, we have a strict no inside joke rule, except for two things: Tairimo and crazy CEO guy. So let me tell you a little story. When the three of us went and watched Iron Man 3 together, we were eating at a restaurant before that. By the way, that was a bad movie, by the way. We had a long discussion about that on the ride home.
Indeed. Long ride home.
But before we watched the movie, we were in a restaurant. We were discussing Iron Man's villains, and I pointed out the fact that it seems like every Marvel movie has like a crazy CEO guy villain. And since that movie, I'm constantly texting these boys, being like, crazy CEO guy villain in this movie, crazy CEO guy villain in this movie. Because it always turns out to be true. So, anyways, outside of the inside joke, what do we think about the villains in this movie?
I'll be honest. I really enjoyed Cassandra Nova. I thought she was a cool villain that I really enjoyed. The other guy, the TVA dude, I
Mr.
really didn't
Paradox?
care. Yeah, yeah, Mr. Paradox. Really was like, oh, I should just stab you in the Wolverine should just stab you in the face.
I enjoyed Cassandra Nova. Actually, a lot more than I thought. I thought she was going to just be a plain world ender type villain for Marvel. You know, the type that we're used to. She kind of was in a sense, but I had a lot more fun with her as a character. Mr. Paradox, I also had a lot of fun with, and I also hated him, which is a good thing. But he made me laugh a lot.
Yeah, he's your typical crazy CEO guy. Just trying to get ahead on the corporate ladder. But
Can't blame a guy.
no, you can't blame a guy. The guy kind of his plan sucked. I'm gonna be honest. So
How did he think he was not going to get caught?
yeah, how was he gonna get away with that? But I mean, you boys have echoed my thoughts exactly. Like Cassandra was like really awesome. Like I remember the scene like at the beginning when they first meet her, where Deadpool's keeping her busy, and then Wolverine just goes and just impales her on his claws, lifts her up in the air. It's like, oh well, that villain didn't last too long, and then she just rips the claws out, and like nothing bad happened. So it turns out she's kind of invincible as long as she has her psychic powers. And for this next part, like I've already mentioned, major spoilers, so I think these boys can get what I'm getting at. I'm gonna give a small complaint about the movie. I feel
How
like
dare you?
too bad. Now, this isn't gonna apply to us, but it might apply to viewers at home. I feel like if you're not familiar with the last 20 years of superhero movies, you're gonna lose quite a bit of enjoyment in this movie.
That's fair. I can see that.
Because here's the thing, this movie is like full of, like I said, I've already mentioned fanfare, but it brought back a lot of old superheroes before the MCU.
This movie, you could almost view it as a tribute to what made Marvel Marvel, honestly.
Yeah, I almost pissed myself when I saw Wesley Snipes as Blade.
Oh my god. Okay, since we're already bringing Wesley Snipes out, nobody saw that coming, right?
No.
Nope.
The fucking nerd chills that I had when he walked into the room, I was like, oh my god.
I was in the theater like, yes, Wesley Snipes Blade.
Dude,
Yeah.
everybody in my theater gasped and then clapped when Wesley Snipes showed up.
Here's the thing, like I think it was like a day or two before I saw the movie, like Wesley Snipes was trending on Twitter. I didn't click it, but
Smart.
yeah, I probably would have spoiled. That's probably why he was trending.
Yeah. The bro I was talking about, my bro, is a big Blade fan. One of our other friends is a big Blade fan. They really liked that.
Yeah, and it's great too. It wasn't just a cameo. I thought it was just going to be a short scene, but he was actually a supporting character. He was there for a while.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
it's all fanfare. Like I said, viewers at home, you're getting spoiled out the ass right now. But
Yeah.
you've got Elektra, you've got Blade, you've got Gambit, who wasn't even like the joke is that it's Channing Tatum playing Gambit. If you're unaware, all of his scenes were recorded for X-Men Apocalypse, but they were cut out of the movie, and he was supposed to get a standalone movie. That's why he mentions like, yeah, I never got a chance. It's like the Louisiana Cajun accent.
Yep. The jokes are hilarious where he keeps mentioning he doesn't know if he was born in the void or not. But yeah, I mean, literally, he was born in the void because they scrapped the movie.
And we've also got Chris Evans in the movie.
That was a plot twist if I ever seen one.
Yeah, you got Deadpool like, oh, he's back. He's back. And then so,
He's gonna say it. He's
yeah,
gonna say it.
he's wearing red, white, and blue. And then whenever he's ready to fight, then you hear flame on.
Not even we thought.
He's not playing Captain America, he's playing Johnny Storm. Oh, crap. But just aside from the heroes, you've got Pyro from the old X-Men movies. You got the old Juggernaut.
Old Toad.
That's
Old
Saber.
Sabretooth.
Was that Sabretooth even in any of the X-Men movies? That
Yeah.
version?
He's from the original X-Men movie.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
okay. Well, I need to get re-caught up on.
Okay, since we're on that subject right there, did you expect that fight between Wolverine and Sabretooth to end just like it did?
I was getting ready to mention that.
I said, what the fuck? Okay, I see it. We're moving on. That's not going to be the focal point, but really?
As soon as he killed him real quick, and then Wolverine was holding his head, and then Deadpool started going on like, "Oh, hail Furiosa!" It's like a little Mad Max feel. I was like, okay, that's what they're doing. They're just trying to move on. You expected him to play a bigger role, but nope, that's the joke.
But I got to ask this. This is a very serious question, boys. Cody, well, you don't remember the old Sabretooth. Ryan, were you a fan of the newer Sabretooth or the old Sabretooth?
The newer Sabretooth, here's the thing. The newer Sabretooth had some meat on him. Because he's played by Liev Schreiber and had
Right.
a lot to do. Whereas Tyler Mane's Sabretooth from X-Men had very little to do and only had like 2 lines.
Which sucks
Um,
because he's my
but-
favorite Sabretooth.
Yep, because I like him more because he just looks like the original the Sabretooth from the cartoon.
Yep, that is why
Uh,
I love him.
Yep, me too. It's nice to see they kept with the tradition of giving him only 2 lines.
Oh, that's great.
But that's only just some of the cameos we listed. There's also a whole part in the movie where Deadpool tries joining the Avengers, and Happy ends up denying him. Jeremy, he needs them. They don't need him.
Yep, lesson learned. But now they're gonna need him.
The other big thing we have to talk about, Ryan, what'd you think about the costume? The Wolverine costume.
I really liked it. I wish it had been, the Jim Lee X-Men animated series one with the black that goes across the obliques. But I'll take the Astonishing X-Men one. I love that Deadpool said that we finally got it after 25 years. And are we talking about the other part of it?
We will, but hold your thoughts.
All right, because I got thoughts.
I'm glad I'm not the only one with thoughts. Jeremy, what was your opinion on it? Minus the one thing we're going to talk about.
I loved it. Again, waited 20 plus years for this. Deadpool was correct.
It looked absolutely amazing. Like I loved every time I saw it on screen. It looked just so perfect on Hugh Jackman. I would also like to have seen it on Henry Cavill.
Oh, speaking of the Calvarine, oh my god, I didn't expect that either, but it was great.
Yeah, there's a scene at the beginning where Deadpool's like hunting for like a Wolverine. You get all these like comic references where you got Wolverine
The comic
curse.
accurate short one.
Yeah, you got the one that's like comic height, so he's like really small. And you got one that's crucified on an X on a pile of skulls, and then you got the one with the eye patch. The one that stands out the most is Henry Cavill as Wolverine. He looks just freaking perfect if Hugh Jackman ever wants to hang up the claws.
So disappointed that I didn't realize that when Cavill pops his claws, it's a Mission Impossible reference.
You know what? I missed it.
I did too.
Holy shit.
That's why you go watch the movie again, Ryan.
I gotta
Yep.
see it a third time. That settles it. I'll see it
This
a third
weekend.
time.
But anyways, we got to talk about the other thing. So, people at home, if you remember from our Deadpool 2 review, we mentioned we want to see the mask. And you know what we got to see in this movie? We got to see the damn mask. Ryan, your thoughts on the mask?
I love the mask for the most part.
Go on.
I wish it had a little like wrinkles around the bridge of the nose to make him look angry. That was the only thing that was I was like, that's a little off. I wish I had that. But other than that, I really loved it.
Jeremy?
Finally.
Finally got to see it. I don't want to complain about it, but I'm gonna shadow exactly what Ryan said. Yes, it needed the wrinkles. I think that's something we saw in his mask throughout all the cartoons and the comics. We definitely needed the wrinkles. Give him a little facial expression, if you will.
All right, I'll be the odd boy out here. I hated the mask. I, yeah, it just looked like really off. And Deadpool is right with the blowjob handlebars on it. Okay, I'm happy I got to see the mask, but I wish Deadpool would have shit on it and he would have taken it off. Like,
I wanted the mask. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm fine with the costume. I love the costume, but the mask, it just looked off to me in like real life.
It's because you're so used to seeing him without it.
Maybe, but we can all die knowing we got to see a real life Wolverine costume.
Yep. Thought the world would let me off. I just saw my favorite movie. Cody,
Mm-hmm.
did you get what you wished for with your Logan scene?
I was actually getting ready to transition into this.
It was the moment I saw it. It is the opening scene. The moment I saw it, I was like, Cody's gonna have a field day with this one.
So, if you remember, and I've said this many times before, that there's major spoilers in this review. And if you remember our Deadpool 2 review, I said, I want to see Wolverine crawl out of the grave.
Cody, did you see him crawl out of the grave?
Kind of. So, the opening scene is Deadpool is digging up the grave in Logan. He ends up getting to the corpse, and you don't see it, but you see Deadpool get angry and start beating the corpse with a shovel, complaining about like healing factors. Then the next scene is Deadpool and an adamantium skeleton sitting right next to the impalement tree, having a heart-to-heart conversation. And then we see Deadpool rip it to pieces and kill a bunch of TVA agents with its adamantium bones.
To the song "Bye Bye Bye" from Backstreet Boys.
Yep.
Best opening of all three movies, easily.
I was sitting there, like, am I really watching a movie? I just love when Deadpool is like, all right, time for the team up everyone wanted. And then I do love the scene where he's got like the skeletal arms just wrapped.
Wait, he puts the claws on?
Yeah, he's got the skeletal arms attached to his arms with like rotten flesh. And then he pulls out the claws. It's like, oh, everyone's been waiting for this. And then you get to see my main complaint of like how unwieldy claws are to use, where he's like impaling himself with the claws.
That, and he doesn't even know how to wield them against other people because he stabs one guy in the ass and one guy in the junk and then he gets some stuff.
Yeah, it's like trying to pull him out. And like a third guy's like, "What the hell are you doing?" But yeah, they paid respect to the fact that Logan died and he stayed dead.
Paid respect by disrespecting.
Like if just like really dark scene where he's defiling the skeleton.
Literally use pieces of Logan's skeleton to kill TVA agents, piece by piece. Best opening of all three movies. Said before, gonna say it again.
Yeah, watching that was like a surreal experience.
It really opened my eyes to the fact that I'm like, this is gonna be the Deadpool movie I wanted, and Wolverine. This is gonna be everything. The real question is, with Deadpool and the Wolverine entering the MCU, I can't help but feel like they're going to be in team up movies and their parts are going to be diminished or just not as big. That's the one thing I'm scared of.
Well,
Like if I go to see a Deadpool and Wolverine movie, I want to see them mainly.
I think we're gonna see an X-Force movie.
I'd be fine with an X-Force movie. I'd love it.
And by the way, Cable isn't in this movie.
That surprised me.
Yeah. The weird.
I thought we were going to get a cameo.
The weird thing, like Deadpool admits, like yeah, he didn't do well with audiences, and it's mentioned that Deadpool destroyed the time device, so I don't know if he returned him to his deadline, to his timeline. But
They never clarified that, did they?
no, but you know who we do see? We see Shatterstar. So apparently,
Yes, we do.
Deadpool went and brought
And
like
Peter.
Yep. Well, we knew Peter was alive. Peter actually plays a pretty damn big role in this movie.
Yeah, he did.
Every timeline has a Peter. No, wait, it's every Deadpool has a Peter. He's legendary.
Peter Poole shows up at the nick of time.
But we gotta talk about that scene. Boys, what do we think about the Deadpool corpse?
Yes, sir. 100%.
Tairimo boys certified fun
That was such a chaotic scene, and I can't
for the
get
most
over
part.
Oh,
Add for the most
right.
part.
All right, I gotta hear this. What's the most part?
It doesn't have anything to do with the core. It has to do with the scene. The
With
part where
Nicepool?
they jump out, where Deadpool and Wolverine jump out of the bus.
Oh,
You know what I'm talking?
yep,
Ooh, that CGI was atrocious.
that was rough.
I kind of noticed that too, but we got to see an epic
Other than that,
in mask pose.
that was a chaotic, fun scene. Deadpool got a second person killed violently.
He didn't get the first
Wait,
person.
wait. Yeah, that's I was gonna say that somebody didn't stick around for their after credits.
I watched the after credits. I don't believe it.
I'm gonna have to side with Ryan. See, he was only a murderer in the sense that he didn't shut his mouth. He didn't have to tell Cassandra all those bad things, but Deadpool totally murdered Johnny Storm.
Fair enough. He also murdered Nicepool.
I love that whole scene where he's taking his Nicepool's got a bunch of bullets. Like I know where your regenerative factors look like. And it's like regenerative factors. I don't have those. It's like, okay, there's a donut stand over on the other side of the street. If we go over there, we can do some healing. And then he's just carrying like ever so slowly. So he's getting filled with bullets and blow darts. He stops in the middle, like, oh, I gotta catch my breath. And Wolverine's just sitting there, like, you're a fucking murderer. Right before he gets his head blown off, because Deadpool wants Dead Dog or Dogpool.
What's those guns too?
You have the gold-plated Desert
Look,
Eagles.
It throws away really, really quick.
Don't worry, there's always another movie. But
Thank God.
after that, we get a huge one-shot battle where he fights the entire Deadpool corpse with Wolverine.
God, that was so fun. Terrible Boys certified fun scene.
It was. I got like after the whole CGI complaint scene that Ryan had. I was thinking to myself, like, wouldn't all these guys have regenerative factors? And then as soon as I was thinking that, that's when every single one of them got up and started cracking their limbs into place and pulling their swords out of their body. And of course, Peter comes in to save the day.
Peter Poole in the nick of time.
But other than the Deadpool corpse, what did we think about the other two fight scenes? The first, Wolverine versus Deadpool, and then the second, the Honda Odyssey fight.
It's what we came to see. And the second scene was just so fucking hilarious.
Yeah, you think there's gonna be like some epic fights at an epic location? They're just fighting in a car, throwing each other through windows and wrapping each other in seatbelts.
It's an amazing scene and it works so well. I love it when Wolverine breaks Deadpool's arm and pulls him back into the car and he screams. It was hilarious.
Baby knife.
Baby knife.
Ryan.
Yeah, the car scene is my favorite of the two, but I do love that they fought in front of a broken 20th Century Fox uh, logo.
Yeah, I love that too. Another thing I want to mention too is like during that first fight, whatever. I think it's the first fight where he's got Deadpool like grapples Wolverine, pulls him down to the ground, and takes out his guns and just kidney shotting him with them.
Yep, first scene. First fight.
When an unstoppable force meets an immovable object. There you go.
Very fun screen time.
All right. Before we start passing the topic, you know what time it is? Time for some boys in action.
Oh, yeah.
So, Jeremy, if you're in this movie, where would you die?
Okay. Favorite movie of all time. I wanted to say I was going to survive, but I know for a fact I wouldn't. So after they save Cassandra Nova, Deadpool and Wolverine, before they, no, when Nova picks out Doctor Strange's little portal thing, his portal fingers,
Sling ring.
and opens it up. Yeah, the sling ring, and they go to jump through the portal. I would have tripped, and Elias would have eaten me.
Okay. Well, by the way, you need some like Loki knowledge for this movie. That helps a little bit.
Yeah, it does. Honestly.
Ryan, what about you?
I want to say something very similar, except I don't trip. I just don't make the jump. Like I just fall short like a Warner Brothers cartoon. Like you know when like Wile E. Coyote just floats in the air for a second and looks at the camera and holds up a sign.
You'd be breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah.
How fitting.
Okay, so I would have let my universe get destroyed and joined the MCU, and I would have died in Thor's arms while Thor was crying.
Why was Thor crying?
We may never know. Yep, that was boys in action. Sure.
Always a good one.
Yep. No boo bonanza though.
Sad day. You Disney.
Something else I want to mention. I'm happy to see X-23 return. I wish they would have given her own movie though.
Yep.
Agreed. I think it's a strong possibility we'll see her in her own movie.
Maybe.
I think so.
I mean, they did return Blade to his timeline.
There's only one Blade. There's only ever going to be one Blade.
I was laughing.
So epic.
I was laughing my ass off at that, and like the people sitting next to me were just looking at me like what? I don't get why that's funny. It's like they're not aware of the whole how much of a shit show the new Blade thing was, where the main actor quit because it was focusing on like all these secondary women characters.
Of course it would.
And we've had no fun facts in this, so here's your fun fact. Wesley Snipes spent years in prison for, I think it was like tax evasion. And people on 4chan would write him letters as he was Blade. So it'd be like, Dear Blade, I'm sorry you're stuck in prison with all these vampires. That sucks for them. Thank you for protecting us from the like vampire menace. So I gotta wonder, I wonder if Wesley Snipes kind of joined the movie because of all those letters. But, I mean, the thing is Ryan Reynolds was in Blade 3. And if you're unaware, Blade 3 kind of sucks because the script was bad, but Wesley Snipes was stoned out of his mind. Ryan Reynolds just kind of ran away with the movie. Anyways, Jeremy, best topic onto you.
Good lord, boys. The extras, the cameos, and the supports that we had. Out of all the support cast and or cameos, you could say, what was your boy's favorite? Besides Blade.
Okay, fine. I liked seeing Gambit on the big screen. And the X-23 as well. I don't give two shits about Elektra. I don't think anyone ever gave two shits about Elektra.
Hey, she's still hot. Okay, she still got it. Ryan, how do you feel? What was your favorites?
Well, I'd always wanted to see X-23 again, so that was a big one for me. Love seeing Gambit. However, I like that he looked like, comic accurate, but all I could see, I couldn't really see Gambit. All I could see was Channing Tatum as Gambit doing a ridiculous accent.
Fair.
And
that
fair.
was the joke, Ryan.
That was the joke. But again, I'm looking at it through the lens of the old cartoon where you could still understand the son of a bitch.
The Boomhauer effect.
Yeah. And maybe it was just me, but while the costume was comic accurate, it just looked like cheap plastic to me. Like I just looked at him and I was like, did you just come from Comic-Con? I thought maybe they should have. I'm not a costume designer. I'm putting that out on Front Street right now. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But I felt like they should have just did cloth instead. Like it looked like they had that plastic headpiece.
It definitely did look plastic.
Yeah. They should have just done like a purple shirt or something. I think that's the one time that like just cloth would have worked, but what do I know?
No, I'm gonna echo exactly what you boys said. It was nice to see Gambit actually hit the big screen. I would have loved to see, and I was actually looking very forward to a solo Gambit movie. One of my favorite characters from X-Men. I actually had a Gambit toy. You remember when toys came with comic books back in the day?
Yep.
Yep, I have that. I still have most of those comic books for the original X-Men.
Nice.
Do you still have the toy though?
No, I don't know where the hell the toy went, but I still have the comics. It was great seeing X-23 again. I wish he was in it a little bit more, but then again, it would have taken away from some of Deadpool and Wolverine, so maybe for another time. So speaking of another time, Ryan, we've briefly talked about this before, but if Hugh Jackman were to retire as Logan, he's the only person I can vision as Wolverine, and the only person, even though the Calverine was good, and I love the cameo, I still don't want Henry Cavill to play the Wolverine because Hugh Jackman is my Wolverine. So my
Right.
opinion is this is where I would like X-23 Laura to take over and
Okay.
continue as the main role. How do you boys feel about
Yep.
that?
Yep.
I'll take Henry
That's
Cavill.
what I want.
So Cody, you'll
Yeah,
take
I want
Henry
X20.
Cavill.
I'll,
Ryan, you're with me.
but I think
Yeah, I want to take X20.
I think Hugh Jackman's gonna return. Like the ending kind of heavily implies
Till he's
it.
90.
I will. Yeah, they're gonna make him do this till he's 90. I will float one other potential replacement for Hugh Jackman by you, Jeremy. George Clooney.
Ooh, that'd be an interesting one.
I'd have to see him in costume.
I'd have to see the tryout for that one.
And Chris O'Donnell as Gambit, and Alicia Silverstone as
Okay.
let's say Dazzler.
Recasting everybody, right?
What about Uma Thurman and Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Uma Thurman as Jean Grey. Arnold Schwarzenegger as Colossus.
Hey, there we go. On
Okay.
the money. That's all I got for the moment.
Ryan, pass Top Gun to you.
Favorite Hugh Jackman moment.
I can't really pick one. Like I just loved when he's playing the straight man to Deadpool, like just constantly, like shutting him down. But I gotta okay. I'll like I mentioned whenever Nice Pool died, he's like you're a fucking murderer. Just I think that's the line anyway. I know he called him a murderer, just like Johnny Storm. Jeremy.
To be honest, it is so hard for me to narrow one down because he was perfect in every scene for me. I'll shadow what you said, Cody. It was kind of like the almost the voice of reason or the grounded guy to bring Deadpool back to reality a lot of times. I loved it when Logan was not necessarily he wasn't shitting on when they met the extras, the guys from the Borderlands, Blade, Electra, and Gambit in X-23. But Logan was like saying like you're all gonna die or some shit like that when Deadpool was getting all pumped up. He's like, read the room, and Wolverine just kind of like shrugs it off, like, heh. But no, I couldn't pick an absolute favorite.
I'm gonna go
Ryan,
with
yeah, but
him. Yeah, I have a few. It is hard to pick, like narrow one down, just because he's that goddamn good. I want to go with the scene, the dressing down he gives Deadpool right before the car fight happens, and his talk with X-23 by the campfire.
ooh yeah, that talk was touching.
Yeah.
You know what? If I had to pick a favorite rage moment, was probably when he was fighting the Deadpool Corps, and you see like the Deadpool Corps push against him, they go off screen, and then all of a sudden he just comes on screen and he's like taking on like 20 of them at a time and
Yeah.
stabbing one in the chest. I love that.
All right, Jeremy. Final thoughts.
Greatest movie of all time for me. These characters and these actors, Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, Deadpool, Wolverine. Seriously, the most perfect pairing of my nerd dreams. Couldn't go wrong.
Ryan, final thoughts.
It's a really times four great movie. Go see it.
You enjoyed the last two Deadpool movies. You're gonna definitely enjoy this one. Like I said at the beginning, it's hard to rank what's the best one for me because this movie is just complete fanfare. It doesn't have the stories, but it's an insanely good movie. I can tell you that. It's the best
So good,
movie.
we're all going to see it multiple times.
Yep, it's the best movie. It's in its own little world of fanfare. And like I said, I gotta see Blade, Wesley Snipes' Blade again. All right, it is time to scale this.
Number one.
Probably, but So I thought about using our usual superhero scale, but like I've been saying, this movie is in its own little world, specifically the MCU world. Today's scale, on a scale of Captain America, the Winter Soldier to She-Hulk, where would you rank this movie?
She-Hulk. No, just kidding. That trash. I love Winter Soldier, one of my favorite MCU movies of all time, but this is going way the hell above that.
Fair enough. Ryan?
I want to say a little below Winter Soldier, but I really want to put it neck and neck just because
You don't want to hurt my
fucking
feelings?
Hugh Jackman's Wolverine said the word the Avengers in this movie. I'm gonna go neck and neck.
Fair enough. I'll go with Jeremy on this one. Above Winter Soldier. Just that damn good.
Yep, and that's saying a lot because I really love Winter Soldier.
All right, everyone. Thank you for listening to another episode of Tairimo Boys Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, telling us how much you love Deadpool and how you like the Wolverine. And don't forget to ring that bell. Stay tuned for more episodes.